Hey everybody, this is Joe. I'm here in Houston. I'm in zone 9 and I'm showing you my front yard garden. This is almost the 1st of August. In July we have had at my house, at my weather station, 19.5 inches of rain this month. And so it's been a little bit crazy here. And so I thought I'd show you my front yard garden now that it's cooled down a little bit today. And I want to start, I've got these little drift roses that are just lovely. They're just really sweet little roses, and they're pretty tough. I found the white ones to be the toughest ones. And then, of course, you can see we're still post-hurricane, so that is a massive, you can see in relationship to my husband's gigantic Jeep, that's a big pile of debris from the backyard. So everybody in the neighborhood is still waiting for it to get picked up. Oh goodness, now I've thrown a lot of seeds out here since this tree came down. I have been, trying to work on what will go along here. This has been very hard because of the root system of the silver maple that is not anymore. And so I've been throwing seeds out. And look, one of the things that came up. This is a native plant. That is Jewels of Opar. Look at those tiny little things. Isn't that a lovely plant? And they've just popped up here and there, and I just keep throwing handfuls of seeds out. And then the frog fruit situation, y'all, how fantastic is this? How fantastic. Look at these little flowers. I just love frog fruit. It just makes me happy. And of course, if you've seen me before, my goal is for all of that grass to be frog fruit someday. Little mist flower, blue mist flower, is really happy here. I think I'm gonna have to keep it trimmed off in the same way. Frog fruit can get out of hand, you guys. Well, look at this. Oh, and yes, I broke another bone, but I'm okay. I'm all right. Look at this. I swear I trimmed this back a month ago. So frog fruit can be a very aggressive ground cover, native. This can also be an aggressive ground cover, also native. And then this, again, I just have thrown seeds out like crazy. And of course it was gorgeous this morning. And here I am filming in the evening and they're all closed up. But you can see that's a pink. I think it's a cross with the coral nymph salvia and something else, because it's more just pink than sort of that coral nymph pink and white. And then again, more mist flower. But this has just become this wonderful hedge that just glows during the day with pink flowers. And then finally, my little gomphrena from seed is kicking off. And this variety has just big, nice sort of velvety flowers or leaves, very different from the other ones that I have. And then look, here's I finally had some success. That is a little globe basil. Look how big it is. And it's just this little perfect little round shrub, and I will probably come in and deadhead that and save some seeds. I'm a big seed saver, and I may save some seeds. And but look how sweet. It's my first time to have one actually come up and look good. And then more, you can see I have just desperate for this bare patch. So I'm not sure. I think that's another gomphrena. This is a gomphrena. I've just thrown seeds. This is more salvia. This is more of that little Jewels of Opar. And so I'm hoping that it'll be not just mud right there. And goodness, this Jewels of Opar, look how big this plant has gotten. It's such pretty little flowers on it. And of course, when I film in the evening, I miss some flowers. That's the Texas rock rose that always closes up. And then look at this big glob of wonderful, they all came out white, cleome. And then I'm gonna go up this stair to show you. I've got a white plumbago down here, and then a volunteer pale blue Cape plumbago there, and it looks really pretty. I almost didn't notice it. It just sort of came up on its own. and then more white cleome. And then back there are things that I'm hoping they're doing pretty well for the summer because they used to be in the shade, right? Because of the tree. And so this is a pink fire spike, and then that is a shrimp plant. And they seem to be holding their own, although we have had a less than brutal month of July. Usually, you know, last year, I'm not sure that stuff would have made it through. Here I had some pink and white cleome come up, and they're really sweet. And they kind of really think about cleome sort of closing up for the night, but I like the two-tone. Lots of rock rose, native. This blue is also native. It's Salvia farinacea, which is like a mealy blue sage, and it just looks really great. It's looking great these days. And this Texas rock rose, like that, is probably 3.5 feet tall. And so it's just gotten huge. And I really, this coral nymph, you can see this one here. Oh, airplane, sorry. You can see this one is still out a little bit, and it looks a little bit coral nymphish, where it's got the pink on the bottom and some sort of creamier, pale pink white on the top. But I swear some of this is a hybrid. And it's gotten, I mean, you can tell me, y'all, does coral nymph salvia get 4 feet tall? I mean, it's crazy. All right, now I've got this big old boot. Let's see if I can get through. Okay, here's a bee. Get this little bee. They love these tiny, tiny flowers. Every one of them, all these little red pods, it's all seed pods. So you can see that they're getting pollinated, and they have, all of this has grown up. There's the one penta that made it through the freeze. I didn't protect it and it came back. So some of these pentas are pretty hardy. All right, let's see where, with the boot, I can climb through. This looks like a good possibility. And look, it's just looking really pretty out here. Fluffy, beautiful, really lush, but I mean, basically 20 inches of rain, half an inch shy of 20 inches of rain, which is, I mean, it's just bananas. But look at this, oh my word. See, I haven't been out here. We've had one accident. I fell in the same place, and my daughter just fell. And this is, I'm walking in a boot, it's fine. My daughter's having surgery day after tomorrow because she fell and broke her foot. And so I haven't even been out here, but I'm like, look at this flower. Oh my gosh. I mean, and this is the powwow wild berry. They don't usually get that big, and they don't usually get that tall. See, here's the rest down here, a darker pink and shorter. This kind of makes me wonder if this is not powwow wild, but I know I planted that out here. So look how amazing. And 3 feet tall, here's the jewels of opar getting really big. I put it sort of in the front of the garden, front of the bed. And then my wonderful Gora. I love this stuff. I propped it up with a little fence so that, because it was really kind of killing all these cone flowers down here. And it needs everything out here. You know, I realized, I decided, oh, I'll make a video. Everybody's taking a nap. So it's a little bit of a mess out here. I haven't been out here. Here's some more of that salvia. So I'm really liking this. I'm liking this combination. Big old self-sown zinnias. And then this is that dwarf Salvia leucantha. I think, oh, there's Buttercup. Hello, Buttercup. I think it's all this yellow is because it's so much rain. I think that's what that yellow is about. And then there are a few native, where'd they go? Oh, well, this is a bunch of just little self-sown zinnias. This is some native milkweed tucked back in here, but it's kind of getting squished. Hi. Go say hi to everybody. Hi, Buttercup. And then here's some more of that blue mist flower that you can see it's getting out of its little bounds here. But I would rather have that than grass. So I'm happy for that to happen. And then these pretty little pretty parasols coneflowers. And just the tiniest hint of pink right there. I wish they had more pink. They're such lovely plants though. And then all of my big plants in here got really big. My big shrubs got really big and puffy and pretty, and I'm really happy about that. And then, oh look, this is my sort of my latest plant. You know, I had something in here and I pulled it out, and I put in, late in the spring, this pink Gora, and it's really starting to stand up, and I think that's going to be really beautiful. In another week or two, I think that's going to be fantastic. And then here's another one of my little basil. It's so cute. And then this has all come up. I don't remember if I planted this or if this just came up from seed. Little pink zinnias. And then, ooh, this milkweed is looking really good. Look how pretty that stand of milkweed looks. And you know, this is called aquatic milkweed. I think it appreciates all this rain. And then this Gora has absolutely laid down flat, so I might need to prop that up. But let me just take a little step in here and show you the porterweed. It likes the rain. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that lovely? I really like that porterweed. And that's what all of this is, huge porterweed. And then another Salvia leucantha back there. And then more, you know, I threw more seeds out, so there's more of this little Salvia coral nymph-ish. I think this really maybe is more of the true, because it's got a little white on it. And then, ooh, one of the things that really took a beating in the hurricane was my favorite Mystic Spires salvia. And so I've trimmed it back a lot, and that looks pretty good. But there was so much dead wood down here. You can see now it's starting to come back, right? But I didn't want to cut it. I always worry, and maybe you guys worry about the same thing, that if you, in the heat of the summer, if you go ahead and cut it all the way back in Houston, that maybe you're going to kill the plant. So I left a chunk and I cut a chunk. And so it does not look great, but it's alive. It's going to bloom some more. And so, so that's, you know, that's a win. And then my favorite Penta, which is another thing that really fell over. You can see it's usually 4 feet tall, but the hurricane really knocked these over in the front and the back, and I don't really know why. It didn't break them off. And then you guys, it pays to have wonderful neighbors. So I've got this great desert willow that I'm super happy with. I've got my plumbago that's popped out, but for years I had a lime green sweet potato vine that was in here, and eventually it died out. And my neighbor, who is Darling, next door over here, was planting some, and she just does it from cuttings. And she said, "Do you want some?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting ready to go out of town." She said, "Well, I can put it in the pot for you." So she came over while I was on vacation and tucked some of this in, and look how pretty. And this was from a cutting, and it was maybe a month ago. Look how lovely. But isn't that the sweetest thing in the world? And she was like, "I'll plant it for you." And she did, and it looks great. And so for that, I give thanks, Annette. You are darling. So look at that plumbago in that big pot. Oh, I love it. Of course, the pot is there forever because my husband is like, when we move, that pot is not coming with us. It's too heavy. I think the roses are happy. Putting on a lot of pretty new growth with all this rain. I mean, honestly, it's been crazy, y'all. I mean, yes, there was a hurricane. That was only 13 inches of that rain here, really only 12. Every other day added up to 20 inches. So we've had a heck of a lot of rain. And then, oh, pardon me, sir. Now, Mrs. Doubtfire's nowhere to be seen because we've had workmen. The back fence is getting replaced by some neighbors. And so Mrs. Doubtfire is a no-show. I'm just noticing this. You know, this magnolia tree, this Jane magnolia, is looking a little scruffy. It's not real happy with Texas heat, I don't think. But I've got all this new growth, which I will trim out. I've limbed this up so I can see the pretty stalks and And so I will cut that new, and you can see it looks real peaked and pale green as well. Come on, Buttercup. Here's another magnolia, and then this big one here. So lovely. And then after the storm, oh, buddy, after the storm, we had to prop this big old wax myrtle up again. It leaned over. It has been in the ground for maybe, what, 9 months? And it's still, the root ball tilted, and we had to prop it back up. But it seems, you know, a little worse for wear, and so that's okay. And we've got lots of peppers out here. I've got my jalapenos. I've got my little volunteer zinnias again. And look at this, oh my goodness. All these, this one just says salsa pepper. That's what it said on the tag, and I don't think that really tells me what that is, but and it was so great when we went out of town. There were peppers everywhere, and of course I wasn't gonna cook them, and so I have a yard guy that comes once a month for a couple of hours and helps me, and I was like, dude, here's some banana peppers. I was like, dude, pick the peppers if you want them, and he did. I was so happy that they didn't go to waste. And then this is senna, which is looking, it looks like it's fallen over a little bit, but this is I'm growing this because it's a butterfly host. It's not a native plant, but it hosts all sort of this sulfur. Oh, I've got an ant on my hand. Sorry. It hosts sulfur butterflies. Now he's on the other arm. Goodness gracious. If y'all hear me screaming and I drop the camera, you'll know that giant ant got on me somewhere. Anyway, it's really a little tree, and I'm growing it as a bush because I wanted it as a host plant, but I don't really have room for it. But that's sort of the story of my life, is it's little trees I don't have room for. If I had, oh my goodness, Miss Doubtfire, welcome to the show. Hello, Mrs. Have you been gone all day, hiding from the men, the fence dudes? Well, I'm glad to see her back. I'm gonna go give her some breakfast, lunch, dinner. They came at the crack of dawn, and she got no breakfast because she just vamoosed. Well, thanks for taking a look, and I hope you guys have gotten some rain if you want it. I know we've all dealt with so much drought in the last couple of years, so I'm loving this, and I hope you guys are having great weather as where you are. Have a great week. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.